Hey guys, so today we are answering a subscriber question, and the question in question was, Frederick, is software development more important than sports? So let's get into it. Well, this is a tricky one. It kind of depends on your perspective, I suppose. I mean, if we take the perspective, okay, for health reasons, nope, not at all. I mean, sitting down, like, honestly, many would probably agree with me if I said that we should, like, if we could limit the usage of computer screens and all of this stuff, I mean, our society might actually be better off in many ways. Because there's quite a lot of health problems related to just using computers and screens and so forth. But I mean, if we take the other route and say, all right, for preparing people to go into the workforce, then yes, I mean, the skills that are required as a software developer, I mean, there's quite a lot of more people making money of being software developers and like having a sustainable lifestyle based on that, as opposed to people who are making money from just sports, like or practicing sports. But we can also, of course, consider training other people if we consider like just health. If it's not just specifically sport, if it's health, then again, no. I know that software development is like hyped to the skies at this point in our community, like in the world right now, and everybody talks as if it's the most important thing in the world. And in many aspects, it absolutely is. But as I said, it depends on your viewpoint, right? I mean, if you think about it, you can also claim that when it comes to preparing people for life, sports is a lot more valuable because you're working as being able to deal with other people and being part of a team sport of some sort is going to develop you as a human being in a different way, at least, than sitting at a computer and like really going into that. I think that the reason why people even ask this sort of question has more to do with the outcome of a lot of people's lives based on which path they picked between sports and like these more academic fields such as computer science, rather than the potential of the two. Because if you think about it, like if we were to push it to the absolute max, the potential to earn money in sports is lower than the potential to make money in IT if you just consider the extreme success cases. But the normal case is also that you, as a software developer, are very likely to be able to sustain a long-term career in programming, whereas a person who practices a sport of some sort is not going to be able to do that. But again, it's a very hard thing to say, because I honestly believe that, I mean, it's already been proven many times that we can almost go an entire lifetime. I mean, for hundreds of years, sports has been part of our society, and programming has not. And it's been fine, right? Up until we actually did decide to start using these, like until the point where computers actually became accessible. So it's very hard to say which one is more important. I think that it's a very individual thing for people. I mean, there's tons of people who don't have the knack to do computer science, just as there are tons of people who don't really have what it takes to make it in sports. But if we consider the people who are most likely better off, I would say, the middle ground. You should practice sports, or you at least exercise. You should take care of yourself, and sports is just a way for you to actually achieve that goal. Unless, of course, you're actually engaged in sports for the competition itself, which is a whole different discussion, and I have that's going to derail this conversation very quickly, because if we talk about the impact sports has on humans today, it's a bit of a mixed bag, if you ask me. And computer science, you can argue that it's a mixed bag as well, but I think we can all agree that the value that is coming, like the physical value that is coming from people trying to push within computer science or any science whatsoever, is at the very least trying to improve humanity, whereas sports has some improvement aspects, but it's more an entertainment type of deal. It's something that it's not pushing humanity forward. It's something that we can unify behind and something we can enjoy together. So I kind of look at it as two different things, and that's why I don't really think that it's possible to compare it in such a way that saying that one is more important than the other. I don't see them being at odds with each other. I think that a healthy human should have an equal amount of understanding in both. If their desire is to work within computer science, but that also brings us to the question, all right, so what if you don't give us flying fuck about computer science? What if you don't care about programming? Well, then sports is going to win. So I would say that for most people, sports are probably more important than computer science. But for the people who actually want to work with it, I mean, then of course it's going to be more important. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you have no interest in software development or programming or anything like that, then there's no reason for you to get into it. And then sports is of course something that you should engage in. It's going to develop you as a human being, and it's going to develop you physically. Children, as an example, they absolutely need to see that level of physical activity at a young age to develop them into healthy human beings. It doesn't have to be sports, but physical activity is definitely more important. And considering that the track record of sports and physical activity is measured in hundreds, if not thousands of years, I think that we can all agree that that's probably a lot more important than computer science is, if we look at it from that perspective. But if we look at it from a career perspective, and we just consider, okay, what's most likely going to set you up for a long, healthy, happy adult life, odds are that you're going to get a lot more from going into IT than from going into sports. But of course, there's a lot of exceptions to this as well. Have a great day.